Hello again, everybody. Steve Politi from the Star-Ledger, joined as always by Tom Lucci, the hardest working beat writer in the Big East. And Tom, I don't think we should waste any time this week. This is Rutgers, South Florida, the #2 team in the nation coming to Piscataway. I really think this could be a program-defining game. You win this game, they're back in the top 25. They have a chance in a major bowl. You lose it, and I know a lot of people ripped Greg Robinson for what he said about the program, but they are 6-5 if they lose this game since that victory over Louisville, and you start to wonder, where this program is headed. What do you think coming into this?
Well, I would agree that I don't know if it's program defining, I would say it's season defining. I don't think there's any question about that. The difference between winning here and then next week against West Virginia is the difference between, a minor bowl and then something significant. So, yeah, you're exactly right. I was going to say that too. Since that Louisville game when they started 9-0, they're 6-4. And if you go over the wins, they haven't beaten a quality team. Right. And they've had some chances at home. That's the thing. This is another chance. The Robinson thing to me is totally different. If that was Rich Rodriguez saying that, that'd be a little different. But when the guy is 6-24, keep your mouth shut, coach, and recruit. So that's it. My problem wasn't so much what he said; it was the source.
Right. All right, South Florida has got to be one of the best stories, if not the best story in college football in the last couple of years. Coming from completely unranked to #2 in the BCS. Do you think this team is for real, or are they still, a little suspect?
No, I think they're legit. I don't think there's any question. I've had them too. For a couple of weeks now. I mean, you put in you look at the Auburn win down there at Auburn. Auburn's come back, beat Florida, won at Arkansas last week. They did beat West Virginia. Big game. That was a spotlight game for them. I know they were home, but that was the first time they sold out the stadium. They were on national TV. That was a big game. And just the way that their defense is playing. See, to me, it's like Ohio State, which is #1 now. The one constant, the one thing that never changes is defense. Right. It's always going to be there every week, and they play great defense. That's the thing about them.
Well, the Rutgers defense showed some signs of coming around last week. Again, against a poor opponent, down 14-0, scored the next 38 points. You have to at least see some positive signs from where they came from to win that game. What do you look at the state of Rutgers going to this one?
It's hard to tell because it's Syracuse. And Syracuse is terrible. I mean, Rutgers spotted them a 14-0 lead. It didn't matter. 14-0 lead on the road, and Rutgers hadn't been on the road all year. It didn't matter. I don't know how much you can read into that game, except it was nice to pad some stats. We're going to find out a little bit more. To me, so far, the Cincinnati game and the Maryland game have sort of revealed a lot about this Rutgers team. They're okay, they're good, they're not good enough. That has to change this week. Against South Florida, this is their chance.
Now, if you look at South Florida, they're only a 2.5 favorite against a team that's not even in the top 25. I mean, this is a very beatable team in my opinion. This is a game that Rutgers can win. I know you don't agree. What's your take on it?
Well, I usually respect the guys that make the line, and if they're saying 2.5, they're saying something. But I just don't see how Rutgers can win this game because they haven't beaten this caliber opponent in 10 games.
All right, now if they don't win, now we're in a situation where the postseason bids get a little dicey. What happens for this team in the postseason if they don't get there?
Oh, Canada.
Well, wow. We seem to have our answer right here to what happens to Rutgers if they don't get in.
Greetings from the International Bowl. I come bearing beer.
Well, thank you very much.
We're going to play a little International Bowl trivia.
All right.
If you want a beer, you must answer a question correctly.
This would be January 5th in Toronto, by the way.
January 5th in Toronto.
Yes.
I'd like a beer, so okay.
Well, you kind of led into the first trivia question, Tom, so if you'd like to answer it.
You need this beer to wash down the pizza from last week, right?
Very good point.
Okay.
All right. First question. In what city does the International Bowl take place, and when was the inaugural game?
Inaugural game.
Well, the International Bowl takes place in Toronto, and the inaugural game was last year.
Very good, Tom.
Wow.
You get a beer.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I'm starting to get a little
now, Steve.
Anxious. Okay.
Honestly, that was the only International Bowl trivia question that ever existed.
Not a lot of facts on the International Bowl?
No, so you get a Canada trivia question.
Oh, good. I've been to Canada. It's nice.
Oh, good. Well, it's time to prove your manhood.
Okay.
If you get a beer.
All right.
What is the name of Canada's biggest national park?
Oh, boy. Canada's biggest national park. I think it's actually the Celine Dion National Park.
I think that would be wrong.
Go with the Molson Labatt's National Park.
Also wrong. Beer for me.
Okay.
It's the Wood Buffalo National Park.
Oh, of course. It's where's that? Ontario?
I don't.
Sure.
Okay, good.
Next question.
In Toronto.
All right.
Everything's in Toronto.
Of course.
For the purposes of this, everything's in Toronto.
Who is Alberta named after?
Oh, well, it has to be Prince Albert, of course.
Close, but no.
Princess Albert?
Close, but also no.
No, okay.
Princess Louise Caroline Alberta, the fourth daughter of Queen Victoria.
I was a little closer.
That's
I'm gonna get a half.
Do you have any hockey questions here or something?
I have one more Canada question for you,
Okay.
Steve. You're looking a little
Yeah,
slim there.
yeah,
All right,
all right.
you ready?
Okay.
What kind of bedrock is Prince Edward Island mainly built on?
Oh, it's granite.
Are you sure about
I'm
that?
absolutely positive.
Are you absolutely
No,
sure?
not at all. I have no clue. Oh, you red sandstone.
Yes! Congratulations.
That's the same bedrock they use for the Flintstones.
No, it's only
I'm-
10:30. Is it too early?
I'm sorry that you guys only got one beer, but I'm going to take my 4.
Thanks
guys
for that.
enjoy.
Thanks for the
Thank you.
International Bowl trivia. Do you want to give a prediction on this week's game as we uncork these Molson's keychain?
I'm gonna go with South Florida 23-14.
23-14. I'm going to stick with Rutgers. And I know this is the first time you picked against Rutgers since, I think, 1869 in their second game.
The second game in 1869.
I'm going to stick with Rutgers on the bandwagon. I'm going to go 35-31 victory for the Scarlet
Wow,
Knights.
high score?
High scoring game, absolutely. Until next week, thank you.